Good afternoon, everyone. It's Cindy Femenin from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time has been all about the ideas of truth and honesty. And, these are some of my favorite areas, and also lies. And of course, so we're looking at the whole extreme or the two extremes of truth to non-truth, right? So when I was thinking about this and contemplating these ideas, I thought, well, so many people that I speak with are really not happy about lies they've been told or perhaps lies that they've spoken. And of course, that depends on the level of conscience of an individual. But I also recognize that there's a lot of judgment about non-truth. And in that process, a lot of people are trained from families many times, sometimes friends who'll say, oh, you better not lie about that. You're going to be caught. It's going to catch up with you, that sort of idea. And this is true, I believe, but it catches up with people in different sorts of ways. And so after this contemplative time, I came across a few great quotations that I wanted to share with you. And the very first is by George Bernard Shaw. And he says, the liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Isn't that interesting? So again, the liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. I think this is a really interesting concept for us to think about today. And I hope for 5 minutes after this video you will. But as I help you reflect on this idea, recognizing that when someone has lied, it's definitely not a comfortable experience for the receiver, especially when the truth is discovered eventually, and I find that eventually it is. Now, you know that I come from an area of really believing in karmic responses, results of action. So when someone is speaking truth, I feel there's very good karma coming from that eventually somewhere. And when someone is speaking untruth, I feel the same thing is happening. Something karmic happens from those thoughts, words, and those actions. And a lot of times we are thinking that, oh, they got in trouble, so there's justice, right? And I don't believe that that's true. I think it is really interesting to think about some of the things that people might be carrying with them if they are speaking untruths or lies. And now when they look out at the world through those eyes that are able to speak lies, and they notice that they can't seem to trust people around them, because if they're capable about lying about something or other, maybe other people are doing the same thing with them. And so I find that a lot of people who are, we'll call them chronic liars, move into this space of mistrust of who can I believe? And that's such a sad space that people are in, and it really does sometimes open up a person for self-reflection and improvement. And this is what I love, is that no matter what we're going through, there's always a space for some self-improvement for all of us. I found another quotation by Kapil Gupta, and this quotation says, "For the unwise man, there are things to do. For the wise man, there are things to understand." For the unwise man, there are things to do. For the wise man, there are things to understand. And do you know, I talk about the busyness of our life and how we move on and have to do the next thing and the next thing. And so many people, I would say majority of people, are caught up and I have to do this next and this next. And sometimes trying to prove themselves, sometimes trying to make a living, sometimes whichever way, we are all busy, right? So we're so busy, but what are we busy in? So if we are busy in understanding, now that's where wisdom is, right? So in that, why do I keep myself busy? Am I running from something? Am I trying not to think about something? Am I not able to settle down? When I settle down, are thoughts coming to my mind that I'm not comfortable with? That's a time of reflection. So I hope that you are all spending some time in reflection. And then finally, I wanted to finish with one more quotation, and this is by Theodore Roosevelt. And it says, in the long run, the most unpleasant truth is a safer companion than a pleasant falsehood. Which is very interesting, right? So here it is. In the long run, the most unpleasant truth is a safer companion than a pleasant falsehood. And we know that only an individual knows truth and their own truth. And if someone is speaking untruth, they know why they are speaking those untruths. And most often, untruths are not such a big deal if it's about helping someone feel better about, do I look okay? Yeah, you look okay. Do you think I might be getting sick? Those sorts of things, of just those little white lies, I'll say, just to make someone feel better in that moment. But sometimes those little white lies become bigger lies. And when those lies affect the person that you're speaking with, don't forget that they affect the person that is speaking to. So remember that if someone is saying, oh, yeah, I was just at work, and they were actually very busy doing something very different, and perhaps something that the receiver would not like to hear, it's really important for a person to take a moment to think about, what was I doing? Why did I lie? What made me lie? And a lot of people will also continue this thinking with themselves of, well, I lied to make that person feel better, because if they knew the truth, they wouldn't like it. And then you might want to ask, why would you do something that is not easy to speak about if someone who receives it would not like it? Do you like it? Right? So all of that. And I find that the people that I've spoken with that have said untruths, and we've all said some untruths in our lives, but the people that I've spoken with that are looking at working at this, it's very interesting to me to see that the places or the areas that they are lying about are the areas that they find completely unacceptable to receive lies from others, which is so interesting, right? So if that's what you want to receive, then please start with yourself and make sure that's what's coming from you too. I hope that you will reflect on these ideas for just 5 minutes after today's video, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.